Burning questions in Washington. How could it have taken so long? So long to arrest the highest-ranking CIA officer ever accused of selling out to the Russians?
How did a mole stay in the game for 9 years at the top rank of the Secret Service? How could the FBI miss the obvious red flags to arrest the double agent? The damage he caused compromised national security, strained international relationships, and undermined the effectiveness of U.S. intelligence operations. Why did Ames betray his country when it needed him the most? Addic Ames had his first brush with the CIA in his sophomore year in college for a summer job. After climbing the CIA ladder step by step, he became the chief of the CIA's Soviet Counterintelligence Division. There, he had access to sensitive intelligence. He knew the CIA protocols, tradecraft, and intelligence methods America had to counter the Soviet espionage efforts. He was doing a good job in life, except for his drinking problem. Slowly, the married man started having affairs with his secretary, a young Colombian woman. He decided to get a divorce from his first wife and soon got remarried. Life was perfect, or he thought so, because his wife had a major spending problem. Plus, the divorce had left him in a financially unstable state. This led Ames to search for another means of cash flow. Sadly, it wasn't a pretty one. He started spying for the Soviet Union in 1985. The first secret he sold was the identities of 2 double agents. The lives of the people who worked in the Soviet embassy in Washington and were hired by the US were compromised. They were both hanged along with the other 11 Russians he betrayed during the subsequent years. Ames exposed more than 100 secret missions and compromised the life of around 30 informants. He gave out information about 2 very complex CIA operations in Russia before the fall of the Soviet Union in 1991. In return, he got what he yearned for: money, in millions. Ames and his wife purchased a $540,000 home in Arlington, Virginia, and he got himself a brand new Jaguar. On the other side, the mass fall in the number of CIA informants had alerted the authorities. It was definite: there is a mole. The FBI quickly began an investigation under the code name Night Mover. The short list of 20 suspects included Addic Ames, but somehow he came out with flying colors on both of his polygraph exams. The investigators noticed the lavish lifestyle Ames was following recently, but nothing alarming was found in his finances. Everybody they spoke with said that his wife's Colombian family was the source of his fortune. The FBI was at a loss. They decided to transfer Ames out of the CIA's Counterintelligence Division in late 1991 in an effort to reduce their list of suspects. He was assigned to a counter-narcotics division, yet he was able to carry on dirty operations almost as easily as before. But this time, the FBI kept a tight eye. They were permitted to tap Ames' phone in 1992 and secretly set up cameras and bugs inside his computer as well as throughout the rest of his home. The investigation turned a nasty corner in reviewing the timing of several bank deposits made by Ames in 1985 and his authorized contacts with a Soviet arms control expert. They observed a pattern. After lunch with the Soviets, Ames would deposit money ranging from $5,000 to $9,000 the same day or the following day. As this wasn't enough, the FBI also discovered that Ames had lied about taking a private vacation in October 1992. Although he claimed to be going to Colombia to see his wife's family, he had been to Caracas, Venezuela, for a meeting with the Soviet Union. In October 1993, Ames was seen making a chalk mark on a mailbox, a signal for the Russians to meet him in Bogota, Colombia. He was allowed to leave the country, but the FBI kept a close watch. By the time he was returning to the US, the FBI had enough on their plate to arrest Ames. They wanted to bust him while doing the deed, but couldn't risk losing him. So on February 21st, 1994, Ames and his wife Rosario were arrested from their home. Just the day before he was scheduled to travel to Moscow for official CIA anti-drug operations. The treasure the FBI unearthed in their home after the arrest was nothing short of shocking. 60 purses, 165 unopened boxes of pantyhose, and 500 pairs of luxury shoes. He and his wife pleaded guilty to accusations of conspiring to commit espionage and tax fraud 2 months later. Ames received a life sentence, while his wife received a 5-year sentence. Ames is currently serving a life sentence without the possibility of parole. Ames claimed that his main motivation for spying was to earn more money, and he succeeded. He banked a whopping $2.7 million through his spy activities, exposing more than 100 secret missions and compromising the life of around 30 informants. This record set by Addic Ames is not going to be beaten anytime soon. Isn't it shocking how far the greed for money can push a man? Is a life sentence too harsh for this spy? What do you think? Let us know in the comments.